Hey everyone, this is Modest Millions, and today we're going to be talking about how you can get started researching new items and markets on your server, some add-ons and websites that you'll need, as well as some general rules before you start diving into your first big market test. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and join the Discord, and let's go. Alright, so let's cover a couple of the essential things first. We're going to be talking about add-ons, websites, item research, and market research. And there is a reason why I have item and market research split. We will get to that. So first off, let's talk about add-ons. So the best add-ons for research are TSM and all the things. TSM gives you an amazing amount of data, the current price, market price, historical price for your server, averaged historical price, sell rate, and so much more. This will be essential when it comes to deciding on new markets to branch out into, what the average price is, and when it's a good time to buy or not to buy. The sale average also gives you a great idea of how quickly these items will sell, so that you know roughly how many you can expect to move on your market. These areas are essential to understand with your market when doing item or market research. But when you are doing your item or market research, you need to ask yourself three things. First, you need to ask yourself, is the item profitable? And if so, how much? You need to take into consideration the deposit fee, the auction house cut. Does this item even make a profit after deducting that from your sell price? Obviously, if not, then most likely the item is either a bust or you have a goblin manipulating the market. Either way, not an item or market that I would recommend for your first time getting into this. Then the second thing you should ask yourself is, should I try to flip, craft, or farm this item? You need to be able to decide whether or not it's most effective for you flipping, farming, or crafting an item. If you can buy an item and flip it for 5k profit in an hour, that's okay. But if you can go and farm it for an hour and make 30k, that's a lot better. But on the other hand, if you can flip the item for 5k profit and you only get 10k whenever you farm for an hour, then obviously the item is something that you should simply flip. And the third thing that you should always ask is this efficient? Is this item or market efficient for you? If you're having to spend an entire hour undercutting just to simply make 5k profit, then it's probably not worth your time. But if this is an item that you can buy, resell for higher, post the item, and then come back later that day or the next day and the item's sold, then that's a good market. So now that we've talked a little bit about TSM and some questions you need to ask yourself for research, let's talk about all the things. So all the things is specifically great for a couple of reasons and is used in specific markets. It can tell you on your item tooltip if the item is sold by a vendor, if so, which vendor and which zone. If the item drops from a mob, it'll tell you what mob, what zone. And finally, the biggest plus is for Transmog, is that it tells you the items that have unique Transmog appearances. All of these things come in handy when flipping items. For example, if you take the Winter Spring Cub Pet, this item has a sale average of around 300 to 500 gold and a market value of 500 gold. So say that you only have TSM and you don't have all the things and you're considering flipping this item. And you see today that somebody has posted 4 of them at 250 gold each. That's a steal, right? You should jump all over that, buy all of them, flip them for profit. Well, the real answer is no. You didn't have all the things, so you didn't know that this was a vendor pet from Winter Spring. One of my favorite places to park an alt, by the way. And this sells from the vendor for 50 gold. So now you just bought these items for 250 gold from somebody, and somebody just at least made 180 gold profit off of you. And now when you go to flip those for 500 gold, they're going to buy 4 more at 50 each, post them for 250, and again undercut you. So hopefully these examples explain why, if you're researching your own markets, TSM and all the things are essential add-ons. So now let's talk about a big website that I personally use all the time for item and market research, and that is the Undermine Journal. This website can be overwhelming when you first start using it, but it has a lot of the same information as TSM. But the main reason that we're here is for the graphs. These weekly and monthly graphs allow you to notice trends in the market and start understanding the fluctuation of prices and whatever item you're looking at selling. If you check the main graphs, you can see the quantity, the price changes throughout the day, weeks, and months, and this will help you a lot with picking days when you should sell items as well. Just simply look back and check the prices and see what days and when there was a spike or drop and when the most number of items come onto the market. A lot of times you'll see a large price increase and number increase on Tuesday right after reset, and a slow decline in price throughout the week. Normally prices hit their rock bottom around Saturday or Sunday, and that's also when you see the highest number of items on the market usually. So if you use all three of those, you are now thoroughly prepared. You have TSM, you have all the things, and the Undermine Journal right at your side. It's time for your first item research. So for our first item, we're going to talk about Death Blossom, because this item is one that I've bought a lot of and I'm very familiar with the market and trends. So if you look at TSM, you can see the current market price, historical price, and you can also see what I've bought a lot of these for. So now with this specific item, I'm not going to be using all the things because it's an herb, but we will be using the Undermine Journal for sure. So if you look at this past Saturday, you see that the market hit its highest number, over 85k available, and the lowest price at around 5 gold. And then you can see that on the following Tuesday after reset, somebody bought out the market and posted only a small amount. They posted 5k Death Blossom and they put up the price at 20 gold each. So this should tell you that if you're looking at getting into Death Blossom flipping, then maybe buying some around Saturday or Sunday and then posting back up right after reset would be a good way to test your server for that market. Also, if you're into farming Death Blossom, then you should use this same data. Maybe go out and farm some Death Blossom late Monday night or early Tuesday morning before reset and post all of them after reset. Either method is optimized for making the best profits, and you were able to make those decisions with the help of TSM and the Undermine Journal. Now this test was a smaller level, only focusing on one item. Now let's talk a little bit about market research, encompassing multiple items, seeing how these items affect each other and why I have this separate. So I actually have a favorite item that I like talking about when it comes to market research, and that is Moonglow ink. This is a vanilla inscription ink, and for someone not used to inscription can look very straightforward. But this is a very detailed market with a lot of moving parts. So this is a great example of why you need to be able to do your research and deep dive into what's going on in the background. So let's say that you find some Moonglow ink cheap. You're going to flip it for some profit, and now you're excited. So you buy some more and try to flip it again, and someone undercuts you so bad that you're looking at 5 gold loss per ink. So of course you're discouraged and you sell the items at a loss or right at break even, move on. But you really need to ask yourself what happened here. Is it because the market's dead, or did you just simply get beat? So let's take a look at that. So Moonglow ink is made by inscriptionists, and they're used for glyphs. Most glyphs make serious profit, but you have to know how to shuffle yourself. So let's talk about prices on my server currently. Right now, Moonglow ink is going for 121 gold. To make Moonglow ink, you need alabaster pigment. So let's check the price of that. And as you can see, it is 500 gold for 1 alabaster pigment. So when you go to craft this item on TSM, it's going to show you that you're losing 379 gold per craft, which is just absolutely insane, and you should ask yourself, why are you doing that? Well, when you actually look at this, this tells me that there are goblins trying to manipulate the market prices so that you think it's not profitable, because they're betting that a new goblin is going to take TSM values at face level and just decide that this is a bust. So let's dive another layer deep. So how do you get alabaster pigment? Well, you get it from milling herbs, silverleaf specifically. So 5 silverleaf will give you 1 to 2 alabaster pigments. Silverleaf is going for 65 gold currently on my server, which means that on the low end you're looking at 325 gold invested per 1 pigment. So you're already 275 gold cheaper than what the pigment is selling for. But if you look at the ink, this is still significantly more than what the ink is selling for. Well, that's because alabaster pigment can also be milled from not only silverleaf, but also peacebloom and earthroot. And out of those 3 herbs, earthroot is the cheapest on my server at 20 gold, which means on the low end, every 5 earthroot will give you 1 pigment, so 100 gold in earthroot gives you 120 gold worth of moonglow ink once it's made, and has a nice 20 gold profit per ink shuffle. So now that we've gone through all that, you can see that what you thought at face value was something that was selling for a loss, but now that you've looked at the entire market, you can see that it's actually profitable. But before we move on, let's go back to one of our earlier questions. Is this efficient and is it profitable? So normally the vanilla herbs don't have a lot of them posted on the market at once, so to make a lot of these pigments can get really expensive because not all of them are going to be as cheap, and it really starts eating into your profits when you're selling the inks or glyphs. So our next question should be, can you make more profit farming? So the best place to restock on these herbs is by far Teldrassil. And if you spend an hour farming, you'll get roughly 350 silverleaf, 310 peacebloom, and 187 earthroot. This means that from an hour of farming, you can get roughly 150 to 160 moonglow inks worth of herbs from Teldrassil. And that is worth 18.5k in pigments for the hour. But we've been talking about researching markets and trying to make as much profit as we can, so why would we stop there? Moonglow ink makes one of the best selling glyphs in all of inscription, and that is the glyph of stars, for druids that give the druids the astral appearance. These absolutely fly off the auction house, and they're selling for 1,300 to 1,500 gold each on my server. And after doing Teldrassil farm for an hour, you could make 50 of these glyphs for a potential value of 65k on the low end. Now, I know that this was a long, drawn-out explanation of this particular market, but this is the best example I have, and these are the things that you need to think about. Different methods that you need to take into consideration, the approach that will get you the most gold for your efforts every time that you go into a market. If you use all of these methods and stay methodical, you will have much more success branching into new items and markets. And that's it for this guide, guys. You are now fully prepared to start testing new items and markets on your server. Make sure you're not over-investing into these markets and understand that this is still testing. All the research and planning in the world cannot stop you from sometimes taking a loss. So test your markets with the amount of gold that you're comfortable losing. But I definitely want to know how you test on your server and what happens. So keep me updated on the Discord or in the comments down below with the items that you're testing or the markets you're getting into, and reach out to myself or a mod on the Discord if you have any questions. Thank you again to all my Patreons. You guys are absolutely amazing. And don't forget, we stream every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Central. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe down below. And I will see you all in the next video.